Hello everyone, Michael here with some top-down analysis for you. Just to go over a few charts that we've looked at together before, and to also point some um, trades out that were recently taken, just to explain the thought process behind those trades. Um, let's start with the US dollar, as we always do. You guys will remember the levels that I posted in the last video, that we were looking at this level here, um, which has now been hit, and I was saying that the time that this level down here was forming at the time now this candle has closed. So I'm looking at this area, so we see the dollar index is in quite a tight range, and it's probably going to be ranging between these two levels going forward. Now today is a big day in the US. It's the 8th of November. We all know what's happening in the US, so that may cause some volatility between these two levels. If either one of them breaks, then it'll give us even more definite direction on the US dollar. But for now, just looking at the charts, um, these are the two levels that I'm looking at in the US dollar. Now when we go take a weekly view of the dollar, we can see that this area here, as we said in the last video, is the weekly area, and the weekly supply that we marked out has already kicked off and played out. As you can see, prices came back to that level a couple of weeks ago and moved away. So now we're kind of in no man's land really, and when we look at the daily view, we can see the prices have removed this daily area right here, which was in the way when I think we last spoke. So that has left us with new daily supply up in here, and also a little bit above it as well up in there. So we have the two daily supply zones. We have this demand zone being the one that is holding price up at the moment, which is not surprising. So we are, what is, again, even on the daily chart, it's in between levels. On the monthly chart, it's in between, well, it's actually on the monthly chart, it's closer to supply. That's right, it's reacting off of monthly supply. So it'll be interesting to see which way the dollar goes, and whichever way the dollar goes, it's likely things like the euro will go the opposite, the yen will go the opposite, because they're all dollar based. Okay, so let's look at quickly take a look at a recent trade on the US and the Euro New Zealand, which I posted in the forum. So this was the view that I was looking at. So we have the monthly, this sort of range, and the trade was taken up in here, which again was in the middle of the range. On looking at the weekly view, we can see that at the weekly at the time, what we had was this momentum coming down, and we don't really have any clearly defined demand zone below. But what was happening was this area on the weekly was what was holding price down. It's been tested once, so we know it's probably not as strong, or even the fact that it was tested very marginally still gave us an indication that there might be some orders left in here. So this was quite an aggressive trade. We see that the weekly supply zone that was holding price down was there. So again, this very tight range in the weekly. But what I think what attracted me to the trade was more of price gapping down on the Sunday open, and I think it was it the 8-hour trade? Yes. So this was the zone that was taken because of the gap down. So prices gapped down here, and when they rallied back up in here, was a quick short down into here again. Very quick short-term trade going with the 8-hour trend back into weekly supply. So we're out of most of that position now, and it's done. But you can see the thought process, which I hope makes it clearer. So it was very short-term trade. And then the last one I'm going to look at is US oil. If we start as always with our monthly view, we'll see that this monthly supply zone has now been removed. So we have, no, that's not what I want. We have, where's my trend line? So we have now price making this sort of upward momentum going on, and we're not anywhere close to the next monthly supply zone that we would worry about. So I'm looking for buys on the in the oil market. So looking at a weekly chart, we can see that we have a weekly demand zone right here, which is where I am now in a position, full disclosure, I am now in a position on this because we've hit weekly demand. And looking at the daily chart, we can see that prices had these two levels on top of each other, and you will see that this daily demand zone right in here has triggered. Um, I didn't take this demand zone because it's a level on top of level. You can see prices move through that level. The nearest opposing demand is still a bit of a ways up, but we're long and we're going to be watching this market and see how it goes. So thank you guys. That's a quick top-down analysis. Remember, continue to contribute please on the thread as we post our ideas and our thoughts on the thread. These are the trades that I just reviewed. That was the gold one I didn't review. No, this was the Euro New Zealand. This was gold. I didn't review that one, but the thread is becoming more and more active, and lots more people are posting their ideas. So thank you very much. Hopefully we'll speak again soon. All the best. Take care.